One thought led to the other, and see, there is a flavor to this kind of messages that come. I have been blessed, experiencing it. It has a flavor. It doesn't matter what mood you're in or how busy you are. But if when it flashes your mind as a thought or an experience, it just we, we have just developed this to just record. You never know. Short and sweet event that happened. TT match, table tennis, we call it here, ping pong in other places. I was in school, intermediate, 11th or 12th grade, and my interests in sports and games and all the other curricular activities was at the peak. So learned the game, but I was a mess emotionally. The work hadn't started yet. In my life, I notice he lets it rise up and then uproots it tree after tree if it's not needed. So we were playing, and my opponent was very ferocious. Nice girl. We were together in the music, playing percussion instruments also. But that energy was ferocious. Nevertheless, I got really good at this game, so my serve was really low, and I would always get the points. It was a great match. The whole room was filled with students, and even my teachers and my warden, everybody was there watching it because it was interesting. So it went on to the third game, and I started to see that she was really, really getting upset. Now my empathy rose up, and I said, you know what? Let it go. I'm not going to be that same person to push and fight and win and then get the point. So I might have consciously lost the game by a point or so, because I started to focus more on her emotions than me wanting to win the game. People could look at it as in different ways. One could see that as a weakness from the worldly point, but my heart didn't want to hurt her feelings. So I thought about that experience a lot in my life. I could have won, and added a feather in my hat, but I didn't for some reason. Anyway, that was flashback. Fast forward to later in my life, the same thing happened. I was in Seattle, and I had just joined a new company. I had gotten a permanent job in a company called A Place for Mom in Seattle. So it was a pretty good company, not as big as Microsoft, although I contracted with Microsoft, but since I had experience there, I made my way up in my career to get back my developer job. It was good. At that time, the work was going on in my body and mind. It was a good, successful career trip. So in my workplace, they have games facilities, and my one of my colleague, not in my same department, a different department, Sam, he was known for playing table tennis, and he was very interested because I said I also play. It's been a long time, but so we went. We had one match. It was a one-time experience. We had one match. Sometime in the afternoon, we had some free time, and we were also chatting about this work and all that. I was in full form. I don't know how it happened. I think it's just the spirit just rose up, and I remembered everything, and it was just so much fun. Again, it was the same thing. My sir was good, and he was kind of shocked or surprised. See, I don't come from a steady championship record. See, this is a one-time experience, so bear with me. So we started playing, and it was a good game, and I see that happen again, and I remember while I was playing, I had no empathy, I had no like attachment to the game, nor did I have any intention to win or lose. It was not a big deal at all. So I was very free. So part of this work is that as it keeps rising up, you start to see the change in yourself through life's experiences. So see, this is not something that it's very real. You know, it's not a therapy that is made by rules, or you have to do the same thing everybody does. No, it's tailored to how you are, what you're shaped as, what you're capable of. It's beautiful. So you come as free as you can in your own way, especially when you're made of that kind of a rebellion. It's hard to do or listen to somebody else. So the best way to do this work, God is great on that topic, is to make you experience it and then learn from it. It's beautiful. Anyway, again it goes on to the third game, and I was smiling because it was kind of so easy for me to win him. And what they said about him was that he nobody can win him. Again, it was funny in a way, but it was also a casual game. It was not serious or anything. So we went into the third game, and I won by just a couple of points. He shook hands. He was very humbled, actually. So it was the opposite of what I did when I was younger, right? I was thinking in a way that, like I said, we were friendly. There was no conflict or anything. There was no harsh feelings or anything. And it's the free spirit, you know. It was just playing so beautifully that I just won easily, because I didn't have any emotional baggage. I didn't have any act. I was just okay with whatever happened. And surprisingly, I won. So we shook hands, and we were also talking about some things. Anyway, very natural, very organic, spontaneous. So he shook hands and he said, "That was wonderful. So now you have the record of winning, Sam." And then the news spread in the office that I won, Sam. And we never played again. But it was very interesting for me to watch myself see the change that had happened in me. Even after I won, I just laughed it off, because I know that it was not serious. I didn't even think that I was going to win. So you see, it just creeped up on me. So I know that God was working through me, on me, using Sam as an excuse to work on this is a very what to say, God giving attention to the details, right? Giving attention to the details of fine tuning your character, your state of mind, how you feel before, how you are while doing it, and how you are after the experience. You see? So I told him this is just a one time thing. I think it just happened for you and me to learn a lesson in our own way. I think you still can hold the title of a champion, because I am no champion. Because that was the truth. It was not that I was saying something to be humble. It was the truth. So there was no deception there. There was no dragging out the mind's what it is thinking while playing the game. If if you understand what I mean. Just let it flow. Be open to whatever happens, and then deal with it while it's happening. That way, your mind is not carrying a whole big baggage of pre-thoughts or even post-thoughts. You're just in the moment, present, open. Get it? And the experience is much more enjoyable. Same with the game of chess. Maybe I can add that because we're on the topic of games here. I haven't had a positive experience with chess like I did with the table tennis to heal from that. But then it doesn't matter. You don't have to, you can apply. If you learn from one place, you can apply it everywhere. So the lesson holds good, and the healing can happen through all the memories that have been piled up. So that's not a big deal. When I was young, when I was in 8th standard, I used to play with my dad a lot at home. Got a lot of good practice to a point where my dad never won me again. So then I started playing in the school with an English teacher, and they were almost going to send me to a tournament. I didn't have any knowledge about like they have now. It's so detailed. I was a raw, very spontaneous player. I didn't have any moves memorized or anything. So again, I didn't come under the category of, a normal champion or a world, the world's norms of rules and all that, and all the system they have for those kind of things. And one day we were playing with my teacher, and I was almost going to win, but he didn't have the maturity to let me win. It was organically good. He took the piece back, which is actually not, you're not supposed to do that, but he did it, and in the next move he won. But by the time he did that, I already lost my spirit. Like I said, with the game of TT, I already lost it. That he did that, I got offended, and I didn't give my 100% to even convince him that you can do that. A teacher, student teaching a teacher is not allowed. And after that, I took it to heart, and I never played with him again. I never mentioned it to anyone, not even to him, but it was there as a splinter in my heart, So technically, a child is growing up on her own, with adults being immature or not having the ability to understand. So you can imagine, it's war, and it's a very difficult path for children who are mature in many ways but not able to express it, not understood or not accepted because you're a kid. And I grew up being very, very supportive to younger kids, uh, empowering them, even if they have a talent that an adult won't recognize. So again, it was something that happened to me, which I never wanted to do it to anyone. By the time I moved to another school in a hostel, so it never really blossomed into going into a tournament or anything like that. That happened with all my talents, dance, artwork, everything. Never ever got to, even though I had ideas, it never took a tangent into blossoming into like a professional career. I had my education, my computer knowledge, and I was in the IT field just to manage. But even that was not my, my prioritized interest. I have resolved on all that because my all-round development of my personality as a person, the healing, that was more important. Because anything like that would just consume. It would just consume your whole life into that. So my destiny was this work, receiving this work and becoming this, It's beautiful. I don't have any regrets. But again, later in my life, after I got married, I had an experience playing the chess game with my ex-husband. And all my thoughts about him were changed in that game. Because, I had my own opinion about his personality and whatever mindset they try to show. Nothing was wrong with him, although the emotions would erupt in a very insane, crazy way. But this works like that. So don't get me wrong, it's not even personal. When you learn lessons like this, it can be applied to anyone in your life. All these things happen in life, there's nothing to hide. Same thing happened. We were playing this big, there was this big Lake City, how was it called? It was like a big place where there was a library and there was a place you can play chess, on the ground. Huge pieces like that. You have to like walk around moving the pieces. It was fun. But later I realized, this guy is getting really serious about winning the game. Then I had fear that if they take it so seriously, that it will become a big war. So again, at the end I let it go. Let him win. So see, the truth of what is going on in your mind is only known to you. Basically, that is the bottom line. Your honesty and truth about what's going on in your mind, in your head, what you're doing with it. People believing or not believing is again, it's their wish. To accept or not accept is the only thing people have as free will. We cannot deny it, we cannot do anything about it. That's why forcing somebody to do something or it just doesn't fall under the category of being right, if you know what I mean. But this is my story, my truth. How I have been reflecting on. See, I have good memory. I do track things well. So I trust myself on that topic that these are my honest stories. What place somebody else is coming from depends on where they are at with their mind. If one is used to finding faults, one is used to always nagging or putting somebody down, and you're not open in that space to be able to receive what is given, then that's their choice. So again, that's what happened. I could have won if I wanted to, but I made a choice not to, and let him win. And I almost like you choose that kind of love that sacrifices. Because I don't really care whether I won or not. I just don't want any fights, right? So it's a twist with a different way. It's a twist to help others. So it is a kind of deception, or it's not even deception. It's a sacrifice, a righteous sacrifice. Because your intention is to not hurt the person. Your intention is to want to love the person. I wouldn't lie or deceive. You do have to stick with the truth, because then again that becomes a habit. You don't want to do that. People do that with children all the time. You have to be careful with children because they're like sponge, they absorb, That's why we all grow up absorbing everything from all around. And it gets very, very difficult when you grow up to change that. Very important to be truthful with children and recognize the talent in them honestly and support them. Instead of adults joining in the war or getting offended because of their ego or their status, all those things, human qualities, age doesn't even matter. I have seen some little kids being very, very generous, having beautiful Christ-like qualities that touch your heart in such a way that you feel ashamed of yourself as an adult. Nevertheless, one needs to be open to let that change happen within and be bold. Trust yourself to be able to do this work in such a way that you're honestly transforming, you're honestly creating a personality that is pleasing to God and does justice to the goodness that we carry. Yes, there are negative things. Yes, there are other things that needs to be worked on. But that is personal to everybody, isn't it? We do the work to bring out the best in each other. So even though in that TT game, back to Sam, I won, but it brought out the best in him. He was very good at taking it, and he was humble, and I learned that also from him. So he had a chance to do that instead of having this ego that he is only one who's good. So again, God put me in that place, somebody who's not even a champion, to humble that person. So it's beautiful, isn't it? We work on each other, through each other. We need that. We need that to mold ourselves. No matter how much we watch videos or go to doctors and all that, there are certain things and only life can teach, that only experiences can change, and then it sticks with you. It's permanent. Maybe it takes time, maybe it takes multiple attempts to bring that best part out of you, but so what? That's what we're here for. We'll have all the time in the world and space. If you're putting in a little bit of effort, the grace just flows in your life to experience that joy and move on. We're not accumulating a baggage that is heavy or a burden on ourselves and on others. So reflect, sit and think, and your life's experiences are more than enough to teach you what you need to learn and know and grow from it. That's just from where I come from. You might have a different experience. Everybody have their own way and their own path. For those who love God and have given their lives to God, it's a little different. So play the game well and learn from it, let it go. Like even in chess, if you lose, they say you learned something, so actually you win. You're not losing, you're actually winning because you learned something, even if you lose. Competition and games, you should not become so serious, right? It should be fun and should be a part of life that is balanced and only bringing good memories. Healthy, it should be healthy. So be healthy in your body, in your mind, and in your spirits. God bless.